Thanks to the EA Creator Network for providing me a free code for the For Rent expansion pack. My opinions are my own. Well, it turns out there's a secret feature in For Rent that we have not yet been told about. What is that feature? Secrets. No, really. If your Sims go snooping around, it's possible for them to find out some secrets about another Sim. I'm not talking about things like traits or their likes and dislikes. No, this is actually a completely new thing where your Sim can find out a bit of lore about another Sim that's randomly assigned to them, and you can choose whether to hold onto that secret or blackmail that Sim for money. While your Sim doesn't need to have a specific trait in order to find out secrets about another Sim, it certainly helps to have the nosy trait because then you'll have that exclusive pry for secrets social interaction. So far, at least in my experience, with that social interaction it is guaranteed that they'll learn a secret, whereas with the other methods, there is a chance of failure. So another method is through eavesdropping, which can be done in two different ways. If you see some Sims in the middle of a conversation, click on one of them, and under Gossip, the eavesdrop interaction is available. You don't need to have introduced your Sim to them in order to do this, thankfully. The eavesdrop interaction is also available on your neighbor's front door. Lastly, you can learn secrets through a snoop interaction available on certain objects in another Sim's home, such as beds, desks, mailboxes, bookshelves, computers, and trash cans. You can do this by visiting a Sim normally, as we've always been able to, or through the new break-in feature that works as a short event where the owner is gone for a few hours while you're in there and you just break through the front door. You can even have other Sims tag along with you so you can break in as a group. It doesn't have to be just by yourself. And yeah, you do have to go through a loading screen to get to a neighbor's unit. However, this is a separate build from my regular game with only the base game and For Rent, and the loading screens normally go by way faster than they do in my regular game. So I can't tell if the loading screens between units are shorter than traveling to an entirely different lot or not. There is a chance that the break-in interaction can fail on the door, but you can just try again. So once you have successfully broke in, then you're just free to use that neighbor's unit as you please, and you can use that timer in the top left to know how much time that you have left before the owner returns. It is worth mentioning, it is possible to get caught while snooping if the owner is around, so when you do this during a break-in, you've got plenty of time to do this without worry. Or at least that's how it probably should work, because towards the end of the event, my Sims did get into a bit of a squabble because one caught the other snooping, even though they were on the same team. Okay, hopefully that gets fixed. So what happens if you decide to stay even after the timer expires? Well, the owner will understandably be angry at you and start a fight. Though, in the case of this particular situation, my Sim still won anyways. So now you've found out some secrets, what do you do with them? Well, you can find out what those secrets are by opening the other Sim's profile within the relationship panel or from the notification like I just did here. So there is a whole new section for secrets there. So in this case, we have the Crumby Friend saying discovered secret as the current status below it. Yeah, it's true. I put plenty of bags of chips back when I've eaten all the whole chips, leaving just the fractured pieces and crumbs for everyone else. I don't care. I only want the full chips. If you want your own full chips from the top of the bag, go get your own bag of chips. I just can't be bothered to care, honestly, but I wouldn't actually want anyone to know I do that on the regular. Don't tell on me. The next step is to use the Confront Secret interaction. It usually does pop up immediately, but if you want to find it under the actual social categories, it is under Gossip. Once you've done that, you have the two different options. Keep Secret, which is under Gossip again, or under Malicious, there's the option to Blackmail. There actually was a little bit of back and forth that I was doing between the property owner and my tenant that I moved in myself. So this is from earlier on in the day where I did find out a secret that the property owner's daughter was keeping, and I promised to keep the secret, and I blackmailed a random townie. Though it only gave 100 simoleons, so don't expect to have a very profitable career out of blackmailing Sims if that's what you're thinking of doing. So that is basically it for the secrets feature. One thing that I was surprised with is that I couldn't find a way to actually tell other Sims a secret if I haven't made a promise to keep it or blackmail the other Sims, so that seems kind of odd that we can't do that. On the more positive side of things, there appear to be many different secrets to discover, because another creator, Sims Chris Allen, extracted all the icons from the pack, and there's 30 secrets related icons, so that's pretty good, and I'll actually just show you a few of the ones that I found. Toilet Terror! One day when I was a child, I was overcome with a glorious wave of playfulness. I wanted to get into the most raucous mischief I could imagine, so I set up a prank on the toilet in our house. Admittedly, I didn't find it that fun at the beginning, but once I heard the horrified screech of the first prank recipient, I couldn't get enough. I set that prank up on that toilet every day. I became an expert toilet prankster. Whether family or visitors, our toilet was sending streams of water into the faces of everyone who dared to use it. I even pretended to be fooled by it and was never found out. So, let's keep it that way. I haven't done it in years anyways. So definitely making fun of how some Sims just really love pranking the toilets a lot. Then we have None of Your Biscuits. It's been said my family are descendants of Lord Reginald Wainscott Sticky Wick von Dosenwald. Before his nautical voyages, it was rumored that he had several relationships throughout his early years. I've traced my ancestry back enough that I can almost find a connection that could link us together, which seems pretty definite to me, but I don't want word to get out. I'd hate to be treated differently just because my ancestor was the 37th Earl of Biscuit. I just want to be treated normal like everyone else. Then there's this surprisingly sad one, Abandoned Smeagol. On my morning walk not too long ago, I nearly tripped over a small lonely dog meandering down the road. There was no sign of his owner, just a name tag engraved with Smeagol attached to his collar. I really did feel bad for the poor fella out there on his own, but I left him. I just couldn't bring myself to take him home with me. There was something off about his eyes, his piercing blank stare. It still haunts me. Another example is Moo-Hoo. Back in the day, I wanted to help out the store I worked at, so I brought in my cow plant to attract customers. You know, spark some interest with something dangerous and exciting. I didn't know it would get so out of hand. A bigger cow plant meant more customers, so nightly feedings were a must. It grew, and as it grew, it wanted more. I couldn't supply its demand, so it began eating customers. It even ate the owner. I knew my cow plant had to be stopped, so I enlisted help in making sure it was sent to a secret place where it could never hurt another Sim. I couldn't let my cow plant just take over the world. That was one mean green monster. Grim Jealousy is probably the most interesting one I've seen so far. Have you seen him? The Grim Reaper. I mean, he's just so elegant, isn't he? He's well dressed, mysterious, and he's got just enough skeletons in his closet to keep things interesting for eternity. He's got it all. I mean, watching him work can be so magnificent. When he whips out that tablet, it always dazzles me. I would tickle a cow plant for one fraction of the style and charm Grim possesses. Isn't his aura just so magnetic? It's like it's drawing all of us slowly towards him with every passing minute. I wish I was as cool as Grim. So yeah, a fascination with the Grim Reaper. I wonder if this could potentially hint at a Grim Reaper pack in the future, because I know there's that scrapped stuff pack idea I keep bringing up where it lost to Nifty Knitting, but there was that one idea where you could actually be a freelance Reaper, so that would be cool if that ends up happening next year. One last thing is that 1 out of the 3 new aspirations is dedicated to the secrets mechanic. It's called Seeker of Secrets, and once you complete all 3 steps, you will get the Pry of the Tiger reward trait, which makes your Sims more successful when rummaging and sorting through junk mail. And best of all, you'll have the perfect alibi in the form of a Tiger Inspector badge when you're breaking into someone's home. Unfortunately, I haven't gotten that far, so I'm not able to show off footage of that in action. But yeah, interesting excuse. Hey, I'm a Tiger Inspector, so I can snoop through your stuff. But I suppose there's at least a tiny bit of believability in that, since there is that Tiger Sanctuary rabbit hole in Tamarang. But to wrap things up, I think this is a pretty interesting little feature, even though I do wish that we could actually spread the secrets to other Sims, and then that could be another way of them finding out secrets about another Sim. It also would be interesting if there were some secrets that were directly tied to a Sim's lived experience instead of it just being these random things every single time. But I still think this is a pretty interesting addition, adding some more gameplay. It's an interesting way of adding a little more personality to our Sims, but in a different way than what Growing Together did earlier this year. And with the sheer amount of secrets that we can find, I think it might actually be fun to play through that Seeker of Secrets aspiration multiple times before it gets boring, rather than it being more of just a one-time tutorial and maybe never touch it ever again. Between that aspiration, the secrets feature, and the break-in mechanic, I think that makes up for some potentially interesting deviant gameplay that normally I don't do a whole lot, but I think this may end up being one of the things I do in For Rent the most, other than using residential rentals. So that wraps it up for now. I will still have some more videos coming out in the future on For Rent, but feel free to let me know your thoughts on the secrets feature in the comment section below, and be sure to subscribe if you'd like to keep up with my latest gaming content. I will talk to you all later, and have a great day. Thanks for watching!